Not the TV guide.
Not the TV guide.
Yeah, sorry guys. Yeah, we've done it again. I'm blaming Grant. When in doubt, blame Grant. Right?
Push me.
It's when it's Grant's rants, it's his fault all the time. So of course, this is not the TV guide. I'm Andy N. Amanda Nicholson, Grant Kerno, and our wonderful guest today, Beth McMillan. Okay, on to episode number 5. Now, this is where it goes in another very, very, very weird direction. I'm still trying to work out this episode because it was, I think, with me, definitely the weirdest episode of the season. And this obviously was the episode Dot and Bulbul. Now, Lindy Pepper Bean is a citizen of Fine Time, a community of wealthy young white adults on a colonization world in a bubble enclosed city, surrounded by dangerous wild woods. I don't even know where to start with this one. So, when in doubt about something weird and just plain surreal, who do we go to? Grant.
Well, it was. I think it's one of my favorite episodes of the series. At first, I was really not sure. It was giving me kind of a bit of a headache with all the screens coming on a bit. But I really like the concept of it. I love the bit. I love the alien, the slugs, of what they were raising. They're really well designed. Love them. But yeah, I thought it was a really cool idea, just about the vacuousness of like these kind of rich 20-somethings, just like entitlement, the echo chamber. So it had some really good points. It was really well done. It was just done to the extreme, and it was kind of like a Black Mirror episode, wasn't it? Quite a lot. The kind of
Very,
stylistically,
very.
and it's so cold, wasn't it? The kind of a nightmarish and everything about it, and it was just the way technology was just running amok. But yeah, there was some quite funny bits in it. I did like it when she walked into the lamppost like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And Dr. P was cool. Liked him. He was cool.
Yeah, it was some fascinating ideas in this one. There was. It was like this felt like a big drug trip to me, basically, as much as definitely as a Black Mirror episode. It was, yeah, very, very weird, but I liked it. Amanda, you were sat next to me when we watched this one live together, weren't you? I remember seeing your face on this one. You just kept looking at me, thinking, "What's going on here?" For the first 10 minutes.
Well, I love anything that just has a go at like social media and technology.
Yeah, and it was I know we both liked a bit about it. It was like the attack on Facebook at the beginning of it, with all their friends all in the bubble around her. Then they all kept getting knocked off, didn't they, quite quickly? And I thought it was like
and the fact that she couldn't remember how to do anything without it, it just reminds me a bit of like AI now. It's like so many people are relying on it, they can't think for themselves anymore.
Yeah, it's you think about it really, we've had 2 really dark episodes. This, I think, was probably the darkest out of the 3, but it was also the most surreal as well. It was. And I'm going to come on to Beth in a minute, because I want to know what Beth thinks about the ending of it, particularly when, but because the point I want to raise is, but yeah, it was, you're dead right, Amanda. It's your sort of episode, this was, because people know Amanda. They would know nothing more she likes having a go at attacking AI and the computerization of the world. And this was completely, it was subtle as the bricks, this episode, for that it was. So yeah. Amanda, what did you reckon to the main character in it? I'll ask you then before we go on to Beth.
I think she was like a typical sort of influencer, airhead sort of person.
Yeah, that's putting it nicely, I think, there. So, Beth, do you want to be a bit more less subtle than Amanda? So I think you can be with that.
Oh my god, I absolutely bloody loved this episode. This was I just thought this was fantastic. Yeah, Doctor Who does Black Mirror and does it brilliantly. Like, because it just had so many different things to say. Because had it just been have an episode having a go about technology and a kind of like, oh, kids and their phones these days, if that had been the only thing that it was trying to do, then it probably wouldn't have worked, and it probably would have been a bit boring, and it probably would have been a bit like, oh yeah, like stop attacking Gen Z, we've been there before, like. And but it had that to say, but then obviously with the ending we also had the kind of, I'm ashamed to say, twist, because I didn't notice all of the microaggressions until we actually got that reveal at the end. But actually we realized that it's kind of exploring racist echo chambers and online echo chambers, and sort of people who don't get diverse opinions and the dangers of social media in only allowing you to be part of like-minded groups and only connecting with people who think in a similar way to yourself. And I'm ashamed to say that I didn't notice the kind of the racism until that reveal at the end. And then suddenly it all clicked, and it was just a brilliant reveal, because it was like, oh my God, yeah, of course that's what's going on. And it was just so that moment of him, you know, sorry, I'm waffling, but that moment of Ncuti, saying, you know, you can think whatever you want, but just let me save you. And it's like, they won't even do that. And that moment where he kind of scream, you can feel that scream. Like, I felt that scream of frustration, and it was just so clever. I thought it was probably the only episode where I feel like the ending paid off. I think the endings have been very weak in this series in general, and this was the only ending that I thought properly wrapped up an episode and had an impact.
Yeah, no, I agree. I know, Amanda, do you remember when we saw this originally? We didn't necessarily get the racist undertones in it straight away, did we?
Well, I took it more as sort of a class thing, like she thought she was in a different class, which could also be racism as well.
Yeah, I got the spot of the racism when reading reviews it later, and I remember saying to Amanda, I thought, it's right, but I hadn't twigged. I thought it was a class thing, like you said. So, yeah, it was a heck of an episode. It felt like they crammed a 90-minute movie into a 45-minute episode there. They covered so much ground on it. It was like, I loved the bit where we had, unfortunately, the poor character Ricky September, and how she just you saw the cruelty in her when basically she turned it on him and left him to get quite brutally murdered after he spent 5 or 10 minutes saving her life. And it was the thought was on. Then it was like, it became apparent I'm going to blunt when I say this, what a selfish bitch he was, and how that whole society was. And I thought, heck of a twist. Oh my God.
No, he was a great singer as well.
I'm saying nothing. I'm going to say nothing there. So, anyway,
I was listening to the song on the bus on the way to work the next day. I was like vibing to it on my way to work.
Not the Timmy Mallet version.
Yeah, the version that was played in there.
Oh, cool.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, we could carry on talking this episode more, but we've gotten the 3 episodes too, unfortunately. So, okay.
I loved it at the end when the slugs won. I'll just say that, and they were like, they just hated them so much they went down to kill them. They were that awful. I thought that was great. They just took over their home world. That was great.
Yeah, it was, and oh dear. Yeah. Okay. Let's go some marks. Beth, I'll start with you this time then, since I know you loved this episode. What are you going to give this one out of 10?
I gave it a 9. I was very close to a 10, but I feel like you'd have to do something very, very impressive to get a 10. And this was very impressive, but I was just kind of reining myself in a little bit. So 9.
Yeah, 9 for me as well, Tom. It was my favourite at that point, certainly. I loved it. Absolutely loved this episode. Grant?
9 again for me. We're all agreeing in this bubble, aren't we? So we're all agreed.
I bet Amanda's going to give it a 3 now. I'm going to put money on that.
No, I'm going to give it 9.5, just to be different.
So, yes, everybody, we love this episode. Yeah, so, okay. Yes, the next episode after this is Rogue. Now, you probably know this more better than me, Beth. I know we had 2 guest writers in this one. Have I read it correctly that these 2 writers have something to do with Loki? Or have I read that wrong?
Yes, I believe one of them, I've forgotten the name now, but I believe one of them at least writes for Loki. Yeah. Yeah,
the writers, obviously, people are wondering in this case are, that's why it's Kate Herron and Brony Redman. So, okay. The Doctor and Ruby arrive in England in 1813 and partake of a fancy party. While Ruby spends time with Emily, one of the guests, the Doctor discovers Rogue, a bounty hunter from the future, tracking down a Chunderland, is it? A shapeshifter who takes the form of his victims as a form of cosplay. Right, I'm going to start with Grant here, because I don't think Grant liked this episode very much. I definitely got some sarcasm.
No, I did quite like it.
you were throwing all kinds of sarcasm in our group chat on Facebook on this one after this.
It was very Bridgerton, wasn't it? Very Bridgerton. I've never actually seen Bridgerton, but
Beth is waving her arm up in the air, so I presume Beth likes Bridgerton, but we're asking that in a minute.
But no, I enjoyed it. I like the kind of like fun aspect of it. It was I like the pageantry of it all, and I quite like the villains just not having any great motive other than they just like to cosplay. I thought that was cool because they've had loads of like shape shifting villains before, like the Zygons or whatever. But these were slightly different here. They were obsessed Bridgerton fans who like dressing up. So yeah, I thought it was a really fun. I like the relationship with Rogue and the Doctor, but it was really cool their dance, when it slowed down and all that. And their kind of relationship. I'm looking forward to. I think obviously he's going to come back. I think they've clearly set that up. Really, I think hopefully he'll come back. Hopefully he won't come back as wait that long as some other character we'll talk about later, coming back as evil. But no, yeah, I thought it was a good episode, a good solid episode. I thought it was really good fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as well, to be honest with you. So there was people, I know there's been a few people going online saying, oh, this is the new Captain Jack Harkness. But I think the character's quite different, to be honest with you. But yeah, I agree. Okay, Amanda, what did you like about this episode?
Yeah, I like the fact that they just wanted to cosplay him. It just so happened, that involves killing people. It's a bit extreme, but still.
Yeah, did you obviously, Amanda, you wouldn't have known as Amanda, but India Ferreira, is that right? Who was the lead villainess in this? I know she was in Torchwood, so I thought that was an interesting move, bringing her back for one episode. But again, she's always good at her anyway. So, what else did you like about this episode, Amanda?
I like the character Rogue. I don't think he's like anything like Captain Jack.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's good. They've set something up anyway. So again, he's creepy. Oh, I think he was very charming.
Less creepy, isn't it? That's what I'm talking about.
Oh well, yeah. Well, listen, if they bring Captain Jack in it and he starts doing what he was doing off stage in the TV program,
we'll get to the watershed.
Look, I take it off air as well. Yeah, no, I agree. It was good. Everyone enjoyed it, John. It was a really nice episode. It was nice to see. It let you see the Doctor and the new Doctor in a different form again. When he's getting emotion to somebody, because it was
very emotional.
Very emotional, and I felt it worked really well. And I want to see Rogue back in the next season, please. And I think they probably will do, because they've got a 2-year deal, haven't they, with Disney? So I expect him back next season, possibly as a recurring character. So, but we'll see. Beth. Since you were waving your arm up in the air, go on. I take it are you a Bridgerton fan, are you?
I am a Bridgerton fan. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed this episode. I didn't want to like it in some ways because it was a little bit cheesy in places. I didn't want to like the relationship between Rogue and the Doctor because it kind of almost felt a little bit quick and out of character for the Doctor to be so flirty. But then actually I was thinking about it and I was like, well, do you know, no, it isn't really that out of character because I mean Matt Smith and Rivers, like that Matt Smith's Doctor and River were incredibly flirty, probably worse than that. And it's a lot of people were kind of online saying, oh, the Doctor isn't meant to be sexual, and I mean, you can argue it both ways, but I think we've definitely seen the Doctor being quite sexual at times, and I thought this was really sweet. It was a really nice romance, and there's a lot of people complaining that with everyone's like, oh, Russell T Davies is writing, why does it always have to be, does Doctor Who have to be gay now and all of this? And I was like, well, I mean, it's just a connection with this person that he's met that he has really good chemistry with, and it isn't really that out of character if you think about it. And it's kind of, I could sort of see where people were coming from in the sense that, yeah, it was I didn't necessarily think that I would be taken with this kind of more sort of flirty version of the Doctor, but I was, and I really liked it, and I thought it was very sweet. Yeah,
it filled the character out for me a lot more. It did him, and I thought it was excellent, really good episode. It kind of made me think of, and I'm going to ask you this one, Beth, because is obviously the David Tennant 2-parter about the family of blood. It kept making me think of that with the way it was handled the past in it, because that was obviously about 20, 30 years in the future. In the First World War, this sort of late 1800s, I presume. But it had that sort of feel to me in it there, it did, on the threat on it. But yeah, and you saw quite a cruel side of him as well, to be honest, because he didn't want to do it, but he didn't bat two eyelids about doing it. It was about that Rogue plea to him, saying, "Find me." And then he made him press the buzzer, and I thought, yeah, beautiful, really, really lovely episode. It was sad.
The doctor's a big Kylie fan as well, wasn't he?
Oh God, yeah, of course, yeah. Kylie was in it with David Tennant, wasn't she? Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, blimey, yeah. That's a point I forgot about that. Oh God. Right, listen, let's move this on anyway, because we're going to get into the big finale now, the two-parter. So, Beth, we'll start with you. What are you giving this 1 out of 10?
We did mark this one. Oh, sorry, yeah.
I'll give it an 8. I actually wasn't a massive fan of the cosplay. I kind of felt it was a little bit of a. I got what they were trying to do, but I don't know. I felt it was a bit. It wasn't much of a plot. I would have liked it if they were maybe Zygons rather than a kind of new invented creature that could also shapeshift. I don't know.
Yeah, Grant, I forgot to ask about a twist to you a minute ago as well. How did you feel about the twist coming into it?
What twist?
With one of the, shall we say, the people that Mille Gibson's character Ruby was talking to turns out to be one of the monsters.
Oh yeah, I kind of saw that one coming through. That one, yeah. But I did like it when when she was about to die and she went, "I love the space babies." That was her last words. So I like that. That made me happy.
I know, I remember that. That's why I thought I'd ask you that. Oh, anyway.
And then he was like, "Only one person can actually think that. Must be a saved her life, you know."
Right, Grant, give it a mark and move on before we get you off space babies.
Right. Yeah.
Amanda, don't you start on the space babies now as well. I'm space babied out already. We've got 2 more episodes to go yet. What are you giving us out of 7 is Amanda?
7,
was it?
yeah.
7, yeah. Well, it's an 8 out of me. I enjoyed it. So good fun. Okay, we're on to the big two-parter now. So, of course, part 1 was The Legend of Ruby Sunday. Amanda, I'll do a quick intro on the episode. I want to know your thoughts on this. So obviously, the Doctor and Ruby visit unit headquarters to investigate the woman they have seen throughout time. Unit already know her. Tech Enterprises Susan Triad, whose staff Mel has infuriated. I don't know what that's about. So anyway, listen, we'll move on. Anyway, Amanda, tell us what you thought about The Legend of Ruby Sunday.
Yeah, this is where it got really scary. I love this episode because I like scary.
Oh, you're scary.
I know I also cheered at one point because there's a character that is from Cheetham Hill and I used to live around the corner from it.
Yeah, but you were crying in episode 7, weren't you? When the spoilers.
Oh, I wasn't crying, but it was sad.
No.
Grant, what did you reckon to episode 7?
Do you know when I first watched it, I thought it was pretty good, because if it was a lot of exposition, it kind of just got going towards the end. I thought it was a lot of exposition in it. But then when I went to cinema last Friday to watch both of them on the big screen, and then I thought it was actually a really amazing episode. Actually, I thought it was really good the way. Because I think I was just so obsessed with what whose Susan was going to be that kind of overshadowed me. I think also when I watched it at midnight, I was a bit tired, so I think watching it at big screen and seeing it again, I thought, wow, I thought it was a fantastic episode, really, really good. But there's still one thing that bothers me. I don't understand how Ruby's mum still has a VHS player all through all these years. I don't know how. I don't know what kind of TV she has.
One.
My mum's got one. My mum's got one.
Really?
I know she has. Yeah. You still got one, Beth? Have you? Blimey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just snuck in. I'm 1999 baby, so all of my first kind of kids films and things were on video. So I kind of just snuck in there, and I kept it specifically so I could still play like my childhood Disney films and things.
Brilliant! Wow, respect to you there, definitely with that. Okay, Beth, what did you like about episode 7 then, or what didn't you like? I might be even had better guess.
No, I really liked it. I thought it was a great episode. Obviously, like the big reveal, bringing Sutek back. I think bringing classic villains back is obviously something that Russell T Davies is starting to do a bit more of, like with the Toy Maker, and I think it can work really well if it's done well. And I liked the kind of the big reveal, because me and Kieran were saying all throughout the series on our podcast, we were going, I really want it to be a Susan twist, because the actress playing Susan Triad was actually called Susan Twist. So we kept saying, what if it's Susan, the Doctor's granddaughter? That would actually be hilarious if it was a Susan twist. But then obviously it was a bit like, well, of course it's not Susan, because that would be too easy, wouldn't it? And the Doctor doesn't get a happy ending, so of course it's not her. Of course it's Sutek. So yeah, it's but it was a good reveal. I liked it.
Yeah, me too as well. I thought it was a really good episode. I felt the pace was noticeably picked up a bit after the last episode or two, when they went speedy straight into unit straight away. And it felt like it was like, well, again, 2 episodes put into one, really. But then it was like there was an awful lot of build up in this episode towards me. And I did like the reveal of the main baddie at the end of it. And I loved the fact, well, they got the same actor, didn't they? That played him in the 1970s back. He's 91 now. And I thought he must have rubbed his hands together saying, oh, got a nice pension pot coming here. But he was brilliant. He was brilliant in it. So, yeah, and it got me a bit of it was because they brought back so many recurring characters. Some of them they didn't do much with in that 7th episode, let alone the 8th episode. So, it was an odd one, really, that was. But yeah, I loved it. So I'd love to see that went down the cinema. That's definitely on that, mate.
Oh, it was awesome. Yeah, Beth, did you not fancy it? The cinema, see it.
I couldn't get tickets in the end, and I think because I've just had so much on, so I just watched it.
Did Kieran not go?
Came out on iPlayer. But I think Kieran went with his friend, but yeah.
I know we were talking about Amanda, weren't we? I think the neighbours one to us was Cineworld, and Russ to walk back from Cineworld, to get back at 1 o'clock in the morning, we've been pushing it. So,
I recommend it. It's really cool seeing on the big screen, like C-Tech looked amazing, and seeing the TARDIS fly through space on the big screen was really cool. And basically, there's no trailers or anything. It just starts. The episode just starts straight away. Then there was like a 15-minute interlude, and then just staying a countdown really. And then a special message from Mille Gibson. She came on saying, "Thanks for all the love and all that. You're gonna love this episode." And then so that was really cool. Yeah, I think Russell T Davies went to see it in Salford Keys. So if you were in that cinema, you would have seen him. Yeah, I could have
remember that next time.
No, I could have said.
Throw popcorn in if you don't like it.
I have actually met Russell T Davies once at an event that just got tickets to that he was speaking at.
Oh, cool.
What was he like?
Yeah, he was good. It was gave a very interesting talk. Got to kind of get an autograph and a picture with him afterwards, so that was nice.
Oh, cool.
Brilliant. Yeah, I've heard he's a good showman for talking the story with other people that met him as well. So, I know at one point he lived in Chorlton, didn't he? I seem to recall as well. And
he lives quite near me. I live in Chorlton.
Yeah, I thought I wasn't sure if he's still in Chorlton. That's why I know he said. I knew he was up there at one point. So, but again, it's typical. Like I said, if I still lived in Chorlton, which I did at one point, I would have found him and have tracked him down.
Unspoken label.
Don't start that one, Amanda. Right, listen, let's get this marked because we're going to top up part 8, and I do have some questions I want to ask everybody afterwards about bits and pieces to come in the news past day or two. Okay, I'll start off this one. Yeah, 8 out of 10 for me. Grant.
Yeah, as I said, I probably would have said first time watch 8 out of 10, but seeing it again cinema, 9 out of 10. I thought it was a really fantastic episode. Yeah,
brilliant. Okie dokie. Beth.
Yeah, maybe 8.5.
Okay, and Amanda.
9.
Oh, okay, and on to the finale, Empire of Death. I thought it's a great title straight away.
Yeah,
you christen a program like that, Empire of Death. It's definitely it stands there thinking, oh, this is going to be explosive. And I'll read out what it says to you, and I'll just put a quick comment on before we pass it around. Sutek reveals he latched onto the TARDIS that had been defeated by the Doctor previously, and has since left an incarnation as soon tried and everywhere the Doctor went on the TARDIS. These incarnations kill almost all life in time and space. The Doctor, Mel, and Ruby escape when remembered TARDIS created using the time window. Now, it was great to see the first 10 minutes when he saw everybody dying. And it felt like the budget, that was where a big chunk of the budget was on straight away. And how did that come across in the TV screens, Grant? So I'll start with you now, because it was like, we watched it on TV, it felt like you were watching a full disaster movie for 5 minutes then. Yeah. Was it pretty powerful?
Yeah, it was cool in the cinema. Yeah, it was. It was kind of like rewatching like Avengers Endgame or something, seeing people just turn to dust and all on the big screen. Yeah, it was really cool, especially when they went to visit that planet, that's all dead. That was really cool on the big screen. That was just awesome, yeah. So it was cool. It was really cinematic, wasn't it? It was just really cool.
Yeah, felt like a good chunk of it. I was expecting to be longer than what it was, actually, truth be told to you. Okay, it was 55 minutes, wasn't it? And I thought to myself, if they're doing they're going to put some budget in the last episode, which they did, it was just 55 minutes. And I kept thinking it was going to be like over an hour or something, maybe even 2 or something, but it didn't. So that was kind of caught me out a little bit there. But Grant, we'll start off with you, mate, since we're talking about it. What did you like and didn't you like about this episode?
What I liked about it was I thought the Sutek villain was just amazing. I thought it was brilliant. It really, just you don't really get a threat like that, really. Like in Doctor Who, it's just like it's just so powerful, and you just didn't know no idea how they were going to beat him at all. And I don't think I've ever seen an episode where the whole universe is dead. That was pretty intense. So, and to see the Doctor like break down in tears, it was pretty intense. But one of my favorite bits in it was I just loved the Remember TARDIS. I thought it was so cool that. Just looks like a great idea. And then my eyes were just looking around to try and see any kind of Easter eggs so I could recognise that sonic screwdriver. And when I watched it on Unleashed, Doctor Who Unleashed it, they did quite a good feature on it. Yeah, it was just really cool, like all the Easter eggs in there. So that was a really cool idea. I thought that was brilliant. And yeah, and I thought it was a good story. I like that. I like the TARDIS whistle as well. That's quite silly, but I quite like that. Calling it kind of makes it kind of TARDIS seem like a dog or something. Like just barks to his orders. But yeah, I thought it was a really fun episode. Like throwing Sutek around space, that was awesome on the big screen. It did fantastic, and it was a really good way to resolve the conflict. The only probably issue I'd probably have with it is probably like the ending. Really, it kind of. It was a bit underwhelming, the whole reveal a bit, but I think it's quite a good misdirect from Russell T Davies, but it kind of the logic was a bit thin to me, like the kind of like the reason Sutek is still alive because he's looking for that one person. He's like a Doctor Who fan on YouTube. He's just got too obsessed with theories, isn't he? And rather than just maybe using his powers just to kill everyone and then just not even care about it. So I thought that was all right, but then her just being an ordinary person, I didn't actually mind that bit, and then the actual like confrontation scene was really good. I thought that was really good. But yeah, the only other issue I have with it is a few people online have talked about because obviously when she was a young girl, Mum had that kind of robe on. She was like, where did the 15-year-old get a robe like that from? I read that, but then I thought maybe they're really popular in Thameside in the late 90s. I don't know, because that's the other mystery. I don't know, because Ruby says she's from Thameside, but she seemed to have lived in London all her life. So I don't know where her accent comes from. I need that answer in series 2. That's But yeah, and it was nice to see Cheetham Hill come back, so that was good as well. So,
yeah.
So, yeah. And I do like Maurice Gibbons. I think he's a cool character. Lenny Rush's character. I did laugh a bit when the guns came out of his second way. I did laugh. That was quite me and my friend were the only people laughing in the cinema when that happened. But other than that, and the Space Baby's not coming back. That made me sad. But other than that, it was all great. I thought it was good finale.
Beth, we're going to you next then. What did you like about this episode? Was there anything you didn't like about this episode?
I unfortunately didn't like it as much as the first part. I thought it was just a bit of a letdown, unfortunately, as a finale, because it was so well set up in the first part, and then this kind of it just felt a bit too easy. I mean, we had people write into our podcast and say, so after all that, he's defeated by a piece of rope. And it was just it did feel like it was wrapped up a bit too quickly. And why would taking him back into the time vortex bring everyone back to life? Obviously, like, they were always going to bring everyone back. They weren't going to kill off all the main characters, but it kind of felt like, well, why did that bring everyone back? I mean, and the Ruby's mum thing kind of felt unrelated to the whole Sutek plot. I was a bit like, if she's just an ordinary person, why does Sutek care? If she's just an ordinary woman, why would he care that he can't see her? And they kept going on and on about the fact that we can't see her. Why can't we see her? And I was like, because she's wearing a hood. Like, that's it. Like, it's
that was my problem.
Like, it's an old video and she's wearing a hood. That's why you can't see her. Like, they put so much emphasis on it, which kind of suggested that she wasn't going to be normal. She was going to be something special. She was going to be alien or something, and then it was like, no, she's just an ordinary person, which I get what they were trying to do with that. She's important, she's not important, and that's what makes her important. I get what they were trying to do, but it just felt like with all the build up around Ruby, she can't just be an ordinary woman at this point, because I mean, what's with the snow then? How is Ruby making it snow if she's just an ordinary person? Like, how is all of these things, like her being 73 yards away as well? Like, they couldn't make up their mind about 73 yards because they said Susan Triad, like all the different versions of Susan Triad were 73 yards away. 66.7 meters, which is 73 yards. They said that Ruby's mum was 73 yards away in the video. Like, make up your mind. Who is 73 yards away and what does it mean? Because you still haven't explained. It's like, how is that happening? What does that mean? It's just too many things that didn't really tie together. Like, the whole plot line with Ruby's mum just seemed completely unrelated to Sutek.
Yeah, that's a lot. I've got my criticisms of Mark. Come on, I agree with you completely, Beth, with that, don't you? I've got a few things that we're not talking about yet, and I wasn't particularly happy with this episode. It was a shame because I enjoyed it, but it was one of those ones you look into it and look in more depth. There's holes in the plot for that one. So, Amanda, on to you.
Yeah, I think like the first 10, 15 minutes was where most of the action was, and then I was thinking, okay, what's going to happen now? And like you said to me earlier in the week, they've got a lot to explain in a short time. And it felt like they either didn't explain everything or it was just fairly flimsy. And it might be one of those things that I'd have to sort of sit down and watch again, but I don't really want to because I didn't enjoy it that much.
Yeah, no, that's the point.
Not space bait.
No, I think I'm on the same boat with actually. It was, I felt with the full season on this, and I'm going to say 3 minutes in a minute more. I felt it hard. It reminded me in some ways of Christopher Eccleston's only season of Doctor Who when RTD came in, because it was a bit inconsistent on the season. There's some very good points in it, but also there's some very unwieldy points. This, like, it was like I loved seeing the little clip about Tom Baker in it. Was that last episode 7? It's episode 7. I loved all the extra TARDIS and the memories and stuff on it.
Yeah, that was cool.
They were brilliant, and it was great to see Tom Baker in that roundabout way. But I wasn't happy the fact they were sitting that Sutek had clung on to that TARDIS for 50 odd years since Tom Baker was on it, and we'd gone through 6 or 7 other doctors. You would have thought one of them would have spotted something by now. I felt it very, very uneven for that. I felt it was something they should have done. Perhaps they should have rounded it up from beginning of when David Tennant came back into it that way, then covered a bit of ground, made it a bit more easier. I think it'd been easier to do it that way rather than right back to Tom Baker. It was a bit silly, and I'm a bit I wasn't that keen on the ending, and I think the two leads have been brilliant, but I didn't, and I can see why they did what they did, but whether it worked, that I'm not entirely convinced about, to be honest with you. So it's a shame because it had some good points in it, but wasn't as good as the first part straight away. So we'll keep off the Mrs. Flood thing because that's one of the questions I want to ask you for in a minute. So let's get this marked and I'll go for the question, a few bits of pieces I want to talk about today. To wrap up with, we'll start off with Amanda. What are you going to give this out of 10?
I'm sorry, I'm only giving it a 5.
Oh. Okay, we'll stick to ladies. Beth.
I'm going to give it a 7 because I feel like the first part kind of saves it a lot because it is sort of tied in with the first part.
Yeah,
same for me as well because I think the first part was definitely better. By 7 for me as well. Yeah, I agree. Grant.
I really enjoyed the finale, so I'm going to give it 8.5. I know there's some issues with it, but I still think maybe just because I saw it in the cinema, I just thought it looked amazing, and I applaud it for how ambitious it was and stuff like that. So, yeah, I thought it was a very good finale.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things sometimes when you watch a film in the cinema, or TV rooms, it could stand out really, really well.
Yeah,
because we saw the first 2 episodes of Good Omens season 2 last year in the cinema. They were tremendous. They were, and it didn't have that same effect for the 4 episodes on Prime last year. So yeah, just go that way straight away. But yeah, anyway, okay, we've kept poor Beth on here for probably much longer than I was expecting here. So apologies, right? We've waffled on here, but I've got a couple of good questions for you. One is a bit of a theory one, so I'm going to start with this first question with you, Beth. Okay, and Amanda and Grant, chip in as well, please. Who is Mrs. Flood?
the Rani. She's the Rani. No, I think she might be the Rani. I mean, I know we always like a lot of Doctor Who fans always say that whenever there's a mysterious female figure, everyone's always like, it's the Rani. But we think the BBC have actually got the rights back to the Rani now, because they mention the Rani in one of the episodes this series. Ncuti Gatwa actually says the Rani, which presumably means that the BBC has sorted out the rights issues. So therefore it could be her. Plus, Russell T Davies said something about look carefully at the front doors on Ruby's street because they are significant. And I watched a theory video and it pointed out that Mrs. Flood's door is the exact same shade of blue as the TARDIS. And obviously she knows what a TARDIS is. We've seen from previous episodes that she's like, what, never seen a TARDIS before. And obviously she always dresses exactly the same, which is a hallmark of Time Lords. We presume she's a villain, so that would kind of narrow it down to she must be the Rani. But obviously she could be somebody completely new, but I feel like it's got to be somebody that we already know for it to be an effective reveal. So I would love it to be the Rani, to be honest.
Yeah, same here as well. I don't want the Master again. I've had enough of the Master for a bit, to be honest. I think that's been overdone. So, Amanda, what do you think about this Mrs. Flood thing then?
I don't know. I keep changing my mind because I think it was the first episode we saw her in, and it seemed like she didn't know anything. And then suddenly at the end, she's like with the TARDIS and she knows what it is. So I don't know if she was just pretending that she didn't know anything earlier in the episode.
Yeah, I'm off the thought with this, and I remember talking to Amanda about this at the time when we saw the Davina McCall cameo. We got that straight away. But I don't know what your like was, Grant. I'll ask you next. We didn't twig it was Anita Dobson until about 2 days later. But yeah, I think I'm the same with Beth. I think it's probably the Rani, but I wouldn't put it past Russell T Davies to do hoax basically and bring someone new in basically. Yeah. But
yeah, I think he has said in interviews, I think he said you're never going to guess it. So I think it might not be the Rani, but I think Beth's made a good point. But yeah, I don't know what she could be really, to be honest with you, unless she just seems like a Time Lord, doesn't she? From everything she said that. So yeah. So we have to find out.
Yeah,
if she wasn't the Rani, she if she wasn't evil, because she seems evil, then I'd say maybe she could be Romana, But I think she must be a Time Lord.
Yeah, that's one I've read straight away. Unless it's the Doctor's mum or something.
Or granddaughter. No, doubt it.
It could be Tecteon. Yeah, could be the Doctor's mum.
Yeah, again, it could be his granddaughter, couldn't it? Yeah, make her evil Susan. But
I think she's involved with all the snow then, because at the end, she was kind of snowing up the top, wasn't it? So maybe that's because they never revealed what, as Beth said, they didn't reveal what Ruby was causing all that snow for. So I don't know. So maybe she's linked to that. But yeah, we'll find out, won't we?
Yeah. Now, there's been a big report gone round again today. Obviously, it was confirmed a couple of weeks ago that Mille Gibson is in the second season after speculation she wasn't going to be. But it's now a report gone around. Have you seen this report, Beth? You've been the journalist among us, saying that Mille Gibson's only going to be in 3 episodes next season of Doctor Who.
I had not seen this report, but I'm not surprised, because the gist I was getting from what we've been told is that she's going to be in it, but she's not going to be obviously the main companion anymore because she's not traveling full time with the Doctor. But I like the fact that this isn't where her story ends and that we are going to see her again, because I definitely feel like with it being a shorter series as well, only having 8 episodes, we've sort of barely had a chance to get to know her. And it almost felt this was another reason that I didn't like the reveal of her mother happening at the end of this series. I almost felt like I wanted that to wait till the end of next series and for her to have a whole nother series with the Doctor before she finds a family and leaves him to have a normal life, because I kind of feel like she's barely arrived, so it felt a bit too soon for her to be sort of, I'm leaving because I want to spend time with my family. That sort of felt like it should be a whole nother series on. So I'm glad that she is going to be coming back, even if it's only like as a temporary sort of companion, because Martha came back for a few episodes with Donna, so it can happen.
Yeah, watch the space, definitely, because I've seen RTD has said basically it's not the end of the story and she will be back, because I'm going to wind Amanda up now, because I know Amanda will enjoy this commenting on this. It's been confirmed today that Mille Gibson's actually joined a new ITV series, The Forsyte Saga, a new drama for ITV from the people that did Poldark.
No, I'm not watching that.
What do you tell us?
Talking about Poldark.
Go on, tell me what you told me about what you think about Poldark then.
I tried watching an episode once and I lasted about 20 or 30 minutes, and it just seemed like the whole thing was just him walking around and women swooning over him.
And it's my mum's favourite programme. She loves it.
Oh dear. And so if that's the case, it looks like it has been confirmed. You would wonder straight away that's going to knock back her availability for the next season of Doctor Who straight away, which I know they've got the script ready at the moment. So I don't know. We shall see. Grant, I'm going to go on to you with the last question anyway. How have you felt about the casting for Doctor Who and the main two characters in this current series?
What, Ncuti and Mille?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they've been great. I thought the chemistry between them has been really good. I think Ncuti's really charismatic. I think he brings a lot of energy to the role. I think I think he's obviously David Tennant's still my number one. That's never ever going to change. But I think he was excellent. I think he's shown a lot of promise, and hopefully you'll have some really meaty stories in the next series, because obviously I think they're just introducing him. Obviously he was missing for 2 episodes, wasn't he? Pretty much, he was hardly in 2 of them. So hopefully he'll get some gritty, more intense stuff to do next series. But he's obviously a very capable actor. Because I've never seen him I've never watched Sex Education. I've only ever saw him as Ken in Barbie, so that's the only time I've ever seen him on. And he was excellent Ken. So, but yeah, so yeah, but I was really impressed with him. Yeah, but he was really good. So yeah, I like him, and I think Mille was a really good companion. I really liked her, and especially when I think she was a good actress, and I liked her. Obviously, in 73 Yards, well, she's fabulous, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too as well. Okay, I've not asked you all this, but what mark should we give the season out of 10 then? Because obviously, like I said, there was episodes I hated, and it probably gets a 7.5 out of me. So, Amanda, what do you rate the season?
I'd give it an 8.
8, Beth?
Yeah, I'd go same as you. I'd say probably 7.5.
Yeah, and Grant?
Yeah, I'd say the same about 8. I said it wasn't perfect, but I'd said a bit like Russell T Davies' first season. It showed a lot of promise. I'm hoping it'll go on leaps and bounds in the next series. But yeah, I think it's the best Doctor Who for ages, though. To be honest with you, for years. Yeah. So yeah, still very good, very watchable. And yeah, it become not miss TV for me, because beforehand I was just kind of like catching up on previous episodes. But yeah, I just feel like I had to watch it at the weekend, or sometimes if I was up midnight, if I could do it. Yeah, so that's cool. That really strategy. The only big complaint is Mini Dalek's upset he didn't get any work this year, so he wants to meet the space babies.
And who do you want to bring in for a crossover, Grant? Just to wrap up, you've got another friend of you as well, haven't you?
Oh, Mini Dalek. Yeah, I've got the greatest space baby. Yeah.
Oh, you big kid, right? So you big kid. So anyway, listen, people, that's it for today. Anyway, so we've overrun, and I knew we would. Not and as always, blame Grant's rants anyway. So thank you today, Grant. Thank you, Baby Dalek and Grodu. Thank you, Amanda. Yeah. And thank you also to our special guest, Beth McMillan. If we haven't put you off, Beth, when we do the next Doctor Who in what episode next year, we'd love to have you on again. If you're not scared you off.
Oh no, I'd love to come on again. I've had a great time. It's been great fun. Always happy to talk Doctor Who. So thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Looking forward to you again, Beth. Great.
Right, Grant, you take us out then, mate. You're very good at that with your buys.
All right, to say goodbye to everyone, and to every Doctor Who fan out there. There you go.
It didn't work.
To drip down.
All right, guys. We'll see you all next time. Take care.
Oh,
not the TV guide.
Not the TV guide.